Hello, everyone. We are ready. Are you guys ready? We are so freaking excited. Can hardly contain myself. We have some amazing things planned for you guys this week. So go ahead. I want to give you time to jump on, grab your notepad, grab your notebook, your pen, and share this video if you don't mind on your timeline. Invite your friends, your families, your colleagues, your church members, your neighbors, tell them to come on board and check us out over here at our Insurance Rockstar Summit. For those of you that are brand new to me, I'm going to take a few minutes, if you don't mind, and introduce myself. Good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Mernice Oliver. My clients affectionately know me as Coach Mo. I am Queen Quiet Storm. I am the calm in your business chaos. And welcome again to our Insurance Rockstar Summit. When I tell you guys, we are so super excited. I have some amazing guests lined up to come and share with you guys all about how they are able to rock their agencies out and master their agencies. But first, I know tonight is all about developing that CEO mindset, and we're going to talk about that. Believe me, we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive with that. But some of you may be new to who I am, and so I want to pause first of all and just say thank you. I do not take it for granted that you decided to spend time with me this evening. And so I want to express my gratitude to everybody that's out there right now watching this webinar, or whether you catch it on a replay, or if you shared it with someone on your timeline. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless. I so appreciate you for being here this evening. But let me just share again with you a little bit about who I am. If you're brand new to me, don't know who Coach Mo is and what I do. So again, as I said, my name is Mernice Oliver. My clients affectionately know me as Coach Mo. I'm Queen Quiet Storm. I am the calm in your business chaos. And so I am a top lifestyle strategist and business coach to women who are agency owners in the insurance and financial services arena. I also work with some good men as well and some top performing producers. I've been in insurance for 25 years. My joke is I started when I was 2. And hang on. We've got somebody jumping on that's not supposed to be here, but we're gonna just keep going. Stacy, I'm gonna take you off for a second. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties, guys. Technical difficulties. I think she's trying to watch the webinar and she clicked the wrong button, but that's okay. As I shared, I've been in insurance for 25 years. As I was talking about, my joke is always that I started when I was 2 years old. But I've served in several capacities. I've worked in claims. I was a team leader in our agency services department. I was a special investigator. I investigated fraud claims, which was absolutely, I think if you had to have a job, it was the best job ever, guys. I was an agency owner for a total of 6 years. I ran an agency with Allstate Insurance as well as American Family Insurance. And I also worked in corporate recruiting, where I was actually an agency recruiter for Farmers Insurance, where I actually worked and opened the state of Georgia, bringing on scratch agents and helping them grow and build their agencies. And so that's really when I kind of caught my bug in terms of how I wanted to really operate in my purpose. And that was really helping women grow and build their own agencies. And so welcome again. I consider myself, I used to say I was a purple unicorn because I really walk to the beat of a different drummer sometimes, but I consider myself a purple rising phoenix because, first of all, I love all things purple. You guys see my little Coach Mo shirt, it's purple, and it's part of my brand. But I've really been able to build and rebuild a life from what I consider ashes. And so I've taken on that moniker of a rising phoenix. And so my motto in life is that, all change is hard, at first. It's messy in the middle, but so delicious and gorgeous and beautiful at the end. We just got to get to the end, right? And so tonight, my goal is to really kind of talk a little bit about what I do in terms of business coaching and how I help agency owners build their agencies. Because I think, I know you've seen it all over Facebook and social media. I'm a coach of this and I coach that and I do this and I do that. But I think there's a lot of myths out there about what business coaching is, particularly when it comes to insurance. And so I wanted to talk a little bit more and give you a clearer picture about what I do and how I help agency owners. And so my company is called Mernice Oliver Coaching and Consulting. As I shared with you, my focus is women-owned insurance agencies and women leaders in the insurance industry. Does not mean that I don't work with men. I work with a lot of good men, but my focus, my niche, are women who've operated in that insurance and financial services arena. And so we offer a signature program. It's really a 5 pillars of service is what I call it, where we work with our agents to help them build their client nurturing programs, their hiring and staff development training programs. We work with CEO mindset and agency leadership development, helping the agents with their leadership development, organizational systems, and that's all around your agency processes and your sales processes. And then we also work and create sales training development for your staff. So it's our chaos signature program. And so that's how we work with agents. I've had the pleasure of serving agency owners for a lot of the top 500, Fortune 500 companies, as I said, State Farm, Allstate, American Family Insurance, Country Financial, and Farmers Insurance as well. And so a lot of history there in terms of working with agency owners across a myriad of companies and services. And so, as I said earlier, I am a rising phoenix, but I do tend to think a little bit differently than most in the insurance industry. Insurance tends to be kind of buttoned up, right, and conservative. And so, but I've always kind of operated in that space of I'd rather live a life of, oh well, than a life of what if. And so I've always been that person to push the envelope and do something a little bit different than what's expected in the status quo, especially when it comes to insurance and financial services. So let's jump right into this content tonight, because I got a lot I want to share with you in just a short period of time to be with you this evening. And so first I want to talk about really what's the role of a business coach. If you don't have one or may have one, if you have never worked with an insurance coach before, my goal is hopefully to enlighten you a little bit about what we do in terms of business coaching, particularly as it pertains to insurance professionals. So hang on a second, a little bit of housekeeping. I want to be able to interact with you guys over on my business page. And so if you're not jumping on, if you're watching this from my personal page, jump over to my business page over at Coach Mernice Oliver. And I want to be able to leave me some comments and let me know you hear, hey, Tiffany, thank you for jumping on this evening. I really appreciate you being here. But first, as I said, let's talk a little bit about what exactly is business coaching. And so my analogy is all of us know about sports coaching, right? And so think of it in terms of a sports coach. Their main objective and their goal is to help their top performers improve their performance, top athletes improve their performance, right? And so that's the same thing as a business coach. My goal is always to help insurance agency owners, particularly women, improve and enhance their performance as it relates to growing their agencies and leading their teams. So it's not really that complicated, guys. It's really very simple. That's really what our goal is. Sometimes my coaching transitions over to staff development and training, or some of the agents decide that they just want to work with me on an individual basis, and that's always perfectly fine. My role is to bring processes and systems that's going to help my clients discover the best possible solutions in terms of growing their agencies. And so some people may consider me their confidant. A lot of my agents call me their advisor. I'm their advocate, but most of all, I'm their sounding board. I am the one that's going to be there to provide feedback to them and help them create a performance plan to achieve the goals that they've set for their own agencies. I will be honest though, I do tend to push the envelope a little bit different. And so because my goal is that you as an agency owner are always to always able to operate at your optimal performance. And sometimes that requires me pushing you outside of your comfort zone or outside of the normal thing that you have always been most comfortable doing. And so things are not always going to be comfortable when you're working with a coach, particularly me as your coach. Now, I will say this. The coach is not the one in control. I think that's one of the biggest myths about what I do in terms of business coaching and consulting, is that people tend to think, or agency owners tend to think, that the coach is in control, when really it's the opposite. The agency owner gets to decide how he or she is going to interact with me. They get to control the relationship. I am only there as a resource to help you find solutions to the opportunities that you have inside of your agency to help you grow your agency. So how do you know you're ready to hire an agent? So this is the question that I always get. How do I know whether or not I'm ready to really hire an agent, an agency building coach such as myself? And I'll say this: it's when you know that you desire to grow your agency beyond the level or the point where you've already been able to take your agency on your own. And you really need an expert or someone outside of the company that you represent to help you achieve those goals. That's when you know you certainly need to bring on a business coach to help you do that. My biggest component that I find that's missing when I'm working with agency owners is just knowledge of how to really build their business or how to push it beyond where they are. That's really the bottom thing. The biggest thing that I find that they're missing is really, it's just knowledge. And so as your coach, I'm there to help you learn how to build your agency, how to grow it, how to train your team. And we do that through a hybrid of ways. We do it through education. I may do it through seminars. I may do it through VIP one-on-one coaching, or it may be through a live seminar or a symposium, or it may be that it may be consulting, where I'll actually come in and I'll perform some of the goals and some of the duties, some of the things that you've decided that you want to work on in your agency. I'll come in and help you as a project and help you be able to achieve those goals. So that's really how I do it. Now, I will say this: what business coaching isn't. It's not that I'm going to come and create a solution for you. So listen to me carefully about that. My goal is not to create a solution for you, but to help you find the solutions that you need so that you can answer your own questions and so that you can build and grow your own agency on your own terms, right? Because I think the biggest misnomer out there is that all insurance agencies are the same and all insurance agents are the same. And that is absolutely not the case at all. It isn't. Every agency has its own unique perspective and the value that they bring to the table. And so having said that, my goal is to hold you accountable for the goals that you set for yourself, but to also be that sounding board that you need to help you think through the process of how are you going to get there. I hate to say that, it's kind of cliche, but how are you going to get to that next level? I try to hold back from saying that because I think it's just kind of cliche. I really believe it's not about the next level. It's about the level that you desire for your own agency and for your own team. And so as a Rockstar agency owner, you already know that it's very lonely at the top, right? Because you're a rock star, right? And so it can be lonely. And so many times you don't have anyone to talk to, bounce ideas through, and walk you through difficulties. That is why it's so very, very important that you have a business coach. And so that's what I'm there to do. I'm there to help you problem solve and also to turn those problems or those situations that you perceive as a problem into an opportunity. And so your business coach really is, whether you work with Moniece Oliver Coaching and Consulting or you decide to find a coach outside of within our organization, I hope you'll decide to work with us. But if you don't, here's what I want you to look for when you're looking at an agent, looking into hiring a business coach. You really want some that's going to be able to be an expert in your field, number one, and they understand how to help you navigate that maze of business as it pertains to owning an insurance agency, right? It's completely different. Yes, it's business, but it's completely different and it's very unique because we operate inside of a very unique industry. It's always changing ever changing. It's really fast paced. No day is ever the same. And you really want some that has experience and expertise in that field. But most of all, they're going to be able to help you navigate, that maze of business to help you grow your agency. All right. So now that I've shared with you all about what it is a business coach does and how I operate, let me share with you how I've been working with some of my agency owners to develop their own CEO mindset. I only have about 10 minutes to share it with you, so I'm going to go really quickly, take some notes, leave me some comments in the box below. I promise I will respond back to you as quickly as I possibly can, but let's think about that. There are some key points that I work on when I'm working with the agency owners to help them develop their own CEO mindset. So take a minute there, and I want you to just reflect and think about what comes to mind when I say to you that you need to develop your own CEO mindset. And so I'm going to share with you some of the tips, some of the key points that I work with the agency owners when they're working with me as part of my coaching and consulting firm. So number one, I help them polish and fine tune their leadership skills, because they're already leaders, right? They're already rock stars. They already are top performers. They're competitive. They're focused. They're driven. So my goal is to come in and help them sharpen and fine tune those leadership skills. So that's number one. That's one key point. So number two is my goal is to help them grow their leadership style. And oftentimes I find that, a lot of the agency owners that I work with are already extremely strong leaders, right? But it's also very important that you learn the nuance of being a leader. Because any person can be an agency owner. Any person can buy an agency, start an agency, and become an agency owner. But to truly learn how to be a leader, you have to grow and learn how to enhance your leadership skills. And we work together to make sure that we do that and we accomplish that. Thirdly, is I help my agency owners recalibrate what the success metrics look like. Now, if you see this pen, right? If I hold it up to one agency owner, it may be their metrics may look completely different from this highlighter, right? And that's completely it. Your level of success, your metric of success is completely different as a pink highlighter and a blue ink pen. So that's how you need to do it. You can't look at someone else, at your competitor or your neighbor who also happens to run an agency, and look at their metrics of success and try to apply that to your own life. You are fighting a losing battle when you do that. And so I work really closely with my agency owners to help them recalibrate what their success metrics look like. Fourth, we learn how to navigate through the times of uncertainty. You guys, insurance is not a very easy industry. It is not. It is difficult. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? And that's just not the case. It is a difficult time. And we need to learn, our agency owners, we have to learn together how to navigate when it's time, when it's uncertain. MLK, one of my idols, one of my leaders that I look up to, he said, the real measure of a man is not when he stands in time of comfort, but in a time when there is, I had it written down, challenge and controversy, right? And so where do you stand when your agency is actually facing challenges and controversy? You really got to work that leadership muscle. And that's what we work on with our agency owners. And lastly, we work on how to lead the team with more motivation, focus, and power. And so developing that CEO mindset is so critical. It's probably the most critical thing outside, of course, of staff development and training in terms of leading a successful agency. So let's talk about it. How are you going to create your own CEO mindset? And so I have my own philosophy. I have these things according to Coach Mo. And so I've got 6 of them that I want to really quickly share with you. And so number 1, according to Coach Mo, I believe that you need to be accountable, not only to yourself, but to your family, to your team members, and to your company. You've got to surrender to the fact that you cannot do this thing alone. You can't. You've got to let go. Be okay with delegating and allowing your team to help you run the agency. Be okay with bringing in a business coach or a consultant to help you grow and build your agency. Be okay with that open transparency with the leadership inside of the company that you represent. Just surrender, because it's about true accountability, and it's not just about you. No man is an island on its own, right? You understand that. And so, I want to ask yourself this question. Do you exhibit the same standards that you expect of your team members, right? Is your attitude stinking when you come to work, when you get into the agency every morning? Are you yelling and screaming and intimidating your team members? Or are you a true leader? Do you show up with a strong character? Do they respect you? What is your leadership style? Not your management style. That's different. But what is your true leadership style? If you don't have a plan, it's okay. You can do it today. Coach Mo, for those of you that are working with me, you know my philosophy. I believe in execution immediately today. So go ahead, write down some notes about how you can actually create your own leadership plan today if you don't already have one. Just put a little star next to it and think about it tonight after our live. So that's number one. Number two, be coachable and commit to a lifelong learning. You guys, you've just got to be committed, be a student of lifelong learning. Here's a tip that I often share with my agency owners when I'm working with my rockstar agents. I recommend that you read one book a week and that you read at least one article per day that's pertaining to your industry. It's really simple. All you need to do is set a Google alert. Pick out some insurance topics. Guys, it's not that hard. And it will send you an email every morning of things that are going on within the insurance industry. Insurance is changing rapidly. And either you guys stay on top of it and remain relevant, or you get left behind. You have to make that decision. But number two, be coachable and commit to lifelong learning. Number three, build clarity around your vision. Listen, your team cannot follow you if you are not clear on your own vision and where it is you desire to go and how you desire to grow your agency. They can't do it. And so let me ask you, is your vision written and is it plastered all over the walls in your agency? Can your team members readily recite what the vision is in the agency? If they can't, I recommend that you make sure they do tomorrow. You make sure your vision is easily read within the agency. It's visible. It's everywhere. Put it on a pen. Put it on your stationery. Make it your motto on your cell phone, on your Facebook page. That's how important it is. You have to have your vision, right? There's a saying in scripture. It says, write the vision and make it plain. So do that. Make sure that you have clarity around what your vision is and where it is you desire to grow. So number four, commit to no turning back attitude, right? No more stinking thinking. No more, I can't do this. This is too hard. The rates are too high. Underwriting is giving me a hard time. No more of that, because I'd rather you focus on things that you can change rather than focusing on things that you cannot control. So you just have to commit to there's no turning back. No turning back attitude. We're going to stay in the fight and we're going to complete the goals that we've set for ourselves. Number five, you need to create a clear strategy to reach your target market and your audience. So let me ask you, what are your metrics? I often ask this of my agency owners, the rock stars, what are your metrics? And I'm not calling anyone out, and because I was the same way. I didn't understand what my metrics were with my own agency. I had to learn them, right? And a lot of the agency owners, particularly the newer agents, just don't understand and know what their metrics are. And so how are you going to measure your success? How are you going to know when you get there if you don't understand what your metrics are? And so really think about how you can create your own rinse and repeat strategy to hit your target goals. And how are you going to be accountable for them? And finally, number six, this is a big one, guys. Develop a living, breathing, workable business strategy to grow your own agency. I have a saying that I share with my agents often. You want to assess the performance. So I want you to write it down. I'm going to say it again. You want to assess your performance. You want to review your findings and then adjust your plan. So how did you perform last night? Last month? Did you hit and achieve the goals? Were there challenges? Were there bottlenecks? What happened? If you achieve your goal, great, awesome. Rinse and repeat, do it again this month. But if you didn't, then you need to go back, review your findings after you assess what happened, and then adjust your plan. Let me ask you, what is your biggest barrier to growing as a leader? And I would be willing to bet, I'd be willing to challenge any one of you guys that are watching this live. And those of you that are, thank you. Thank you for your comments. I'm watching you, for watching with me and then sharing it. I so appreciate that. But what is your biggest barrier to growing as a leader? And I dare to say it's probably 90% of you are probably going to say it's because I don't have a living, breathing, workable plan. I wrote it out several years ago and I just never went back to it. I was guilty. I raise my hand. I'll be the first one to say that I was guilty of that. I created plans and I just didn't go back and I didn't do any of these things. I didn't know my metrics. I was not assessing my performance. I wasn't reviewing my findings and I certainly wasn't adjusting the plan. I was just kind of, reacting rather than being proactive. And so I want you to learn how to do that because that's the only way that you're going to be able to grow to the level of success that you truly, truly, truly desire. And so think about those things. It's about 5 minutes. I got a great treat for you guys. I got a rock star agent that's about to jump on with us here in a few moments. And she really doesn't need any introduction at all. She is actually with American Family Insurance. And I'm going to see if I can bring her on board. Hold on a second. See if I can bring her on board. Tracy, are you there? Oh, wait a minute. You're on mute. Okay, there you go. Are you there, Tracy? I can't see you. Good evening. Good evening.
Oh.
Yeah, your camera's not working, right? Technology is only as good as technology is only as good, right? It's only as good, but no, we can't. But I was just great segue here. I can hear you well.
Okay. I don't know why my camera, okay, I see me talking here. Let's see.
I just can't see you. And so, but while you're doing that, let's talk a little bit about who you are and what you do. As I said, speaking of leaders, a great segue that you jumped in because I was talking about developing that CEO mindset and being a true leader. And so you're definitely one of my rock star agents. There you are. Woohoo, you made it. I can see you, and you representing the Falcons.
Okay, where did I go? Okay, can you see me now?
I can see you now. I am going to remove this other one. You have two, you're on here twice. There you go. All right, fantastic. And so, good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to give you a few minutes. Tell us, can you hear us? You are on mute again. Hang on. I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you very well. Thank you for joining us. All right.
Awesome.
If you would not mind, welcome again to our very first 2018 Insurance Rockstar Summit. And I'm so excited, like my heart is pounding, to be honest. So excited that you decided to be with me tonight. You are definitely one of my rockstar agents. I've got tons, but you're definitely a big standout. And so I want you to just share with us a little bit about who you are, how you got started in insurance. Just share a little bit about your story.
Okay, so hello everyone. How's everybody doing today? My name is Tracy Thompson, and I'm an insurance agent in Stockbridge, Georgia. I have been an agent for May was 6 years now. And so how I got started was I was actually in the IT field, and somebody just happened to say, hey, have you ever thought about selling insurance? And of course, my answer was no. So once I got laid off, I was like, hey, what did you say about insurance now? So I kind of dabbled a little bit on my own, had an independent agency. We specialize in life insurance. So that is my number one product. I believe in making sure everybody has financial freedom for their family and in order to make decisions based on things that happened that was unexpected. So I developed a love for insurance by being able to help people figure out what they need and then putting a plan together for them and their family to give them the financial freedom that they have. So, and the main thing is so they don't have to set up the GoFundMe accounts anymore,
Oh,
but they can actually do what they intended to be done for their family.
yeah.
So I've been doing this again 6 years now with American Family. My office is in Stockbridge, and I would love to help anyone that I can to create their plan of their financial freedom.
All right. Thank you. So let's speak. That's a great segue for my next question. A plan. So share with me. You and I have been working together now.
Since August?
Yes, almost a year. Isn't that crazy?
Wow, I didn't realize it was that long.
Yes, it's almost a year. And you guys that are out there watching us in Facebook too, Tracy and I are homegirls. We're deep South people. Tracy's
Yes.
from Lowndes County, and I am from Dougherty County, Albany, Georgia, and Valdosta, Georgia, respectively. And so we have a kinship, you know. We just kind of hit it off immediately. But
exactly.
tell us a little bit about what was going on in your agency and why you made the decision to work with me as your coach.
My agency, I've been building this agency for 6 years now. So I've always had my processes in play, but I didn't know at the time until I met Bernice that my mindset was lacking a little bit. I just never thought that I could separate personal and professional, that it was all in one. So before that, it was just kind of like, this is what you do. This is the mindset and it works. But once I met Bernice, it kind of like, like, wait a minute, there's a missing piece here. And I didn't realize that until we talked, and we've been working on that ever since.
Yeah. And I was sharing a little bit earlier, you know, it's not just about, we talked about metrics. I was speaking about that in terms of leadership, but I take more of a holistic approach. It's not just the metrics, right? We got to work a little bit on the personal side and the mindset. So share a little bit more about it. You are the mindset person, so that I specifically chose you for tonight. And so just get
so before Bernice, I kind of you start doing things, the process is going, and then it falls off, and you kind of like, okay, what is happening here? This is what I said I want. I got my goals written down. I got my processes. Everybody's doing this, but something's not clicking. So talking to Bernice, I realized that what I said I want and what I was doing wasn't lining up. So I had the goals in place. I had the vision. I had everything. But because I wasn't acting that way all the time, then it didn't connect. So since working with Bernice, I have been meditating. So things happen. And that's what I've learned mostly from this session, is that just because things are falling apart doesn't mean that I have to go to pieces. And I've learned to accept what is happening and be able to see it almost from a point of view of the outside looking in, and can make rational decisions and keep things going in alliance to what my goals are, what my true metrics are, and line that with my agency and have that build as a unit. So I have incorporated meditation in the morning. I have incorporated reading books. Like, I've read so many books since August on my audible.com that probably more than I have in the last year or so. I've incorporated more personal development, and I have seen that spill over into my professional development as well. So things lining up professionally and personally, when initially I was just like, if I can get everything done professionally, then the personal will come and it will be okay and it can line up. But if something were to happen previously and it didn't align with what I thought it was, then that can kind of put you in a different mindset where you can just be like, well, you know what, this is not working. This is for the birds. But once you have that alignment for professional and personal, things still happen, but you're able to still move forward and to be like, okay, well, this is happening, but I can see the bigger picture and I can keep going. So the mindset helps you develop the mentality to keep moving forward no matter what. And once you align everything, it all goes uphill from there.
Yeah, alignment is so very, very important. I think that was one of the very first sessions we talked about.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, share with them a little bit, our audience who's with us, and thank you again, you guys out there that are joining us this evening, a little bit about the life plan that we worked on. That was a biggie for you.
So, okay, so Bernice will come in and she will tear your life up and then help you put it back together. So just by making sure when you say you want something, she holds you accountable for that. And she breaks down every part of your life and have you develop what you want and go through each section and figure that out in order for you to move forward. So anytime something is not going accordingly, she'll be like, okay, well, go back to your life plan. What did you say you wanted in this area? Are you doing that? What is the universe trying to tell you in reference to what's actually happening? So she'll break down every section for you, help you figure out what your wants are, what your needs are, what your fears are, things that you don't want to talk about. I know I'll be calling her like, Bernice, I don't know what you did to me, but please make it stop. And I appreciate it. And I feel like a different person. But this is what I said I wanted. And she helped me get to that point with my life plan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was sharing a little bit with the audience before you jumped on that although, yes, I help you develop that life plan, but you are still in control, right?
Yes.
So it wasn't a situation where I came in and told you what to do. It was an opportunity for you to find your own path.
Yeah, because it's almost like it was buried and you didn't know what it was, but then she started pushing buttons and then things just start coming like, wait a minute, that's what this is? Oh man, like, oh wow. So you have all these like epiphanies and you just like, man, this is really happening. And it puts you in a mindset to be in a place that you can handle life when anything comes up because you know what your life plan is, you know where you're going, you know what your metrics are, and it kind of moves you along. So no matter what happens in your business, you're still able to perform.
So share a little bit about what have you, from just working with me this past year, what do you think some of the biggest, if you could share the biggest takeaways that you've been able to, that you've gained from working with me?
I would say number one is a positive attitude. And I'll elaborate. Number two is being able to spread and share my information with other people, and to the point where if I see somebody being negative, I'm like, hey, no, step back. What are you doing? Stay away. Because Bernice said that this is not how it's supposed to be. But it's my plan, but it helps me stay on track. It helps me keep feeding my mind on a daily basis. So every day when I get up and ride my bike or walking, I'm listening to positive motivations and meditations and going forward. So now if my friends are being negative, or if I hear negative stuff, I'd be like, hey, I can't be a part of that anymore. I need you to stay positive. And if something is happening, let's find the positive in all of this versus just trying to dwell on the negative. So I think that the number one thing has always is being trying to maintain a positive attitude. And I can feel myself if something negative is trying to stir up. It's like, wait a minute, that's not what you said you wanted. So let's get back focused and go from there.
Okay. What was number two? That was number one?
Number one was staying positive. Number two was constantly feeding myself. And I think number three, I said them so fast, Bernice. Number three was being an influence to other people. So having other people witness my positivity.
Mm-hmm. Great segue. You know, you're hitting all the buttons I wanted to hit tonight. Because you talked about something that you just said. I want to talk about that. As I said, yes, it's business coaching, but it's a hybrid of more of, you know, lifestyle strategy as well as business strategy. So let's talk about your self-care plan. I know we worked a little bit on that as well. So let's talk elaborate a little bit on that and your experience with that.
It's hard looking at yourself from the outside in, and then things that you may have buried. I think we went all the way back to childhood to be like, okay, what happened at this point? What did you like about it? How was that? And you kind of think about things and kind of find out why you do things the way that you do them, and then figure out how you want to do them going forward. And what are your standards? What are your morals? And what do you want in life? And how are you going to be regardless? And once you write it down and make a goal and figure that out and figure out what's hindering you, the self-care plan allows you to develop the lifestyle that you want today based on your goals and your admirations and your visions.
And so because of this shift, because you've really had a life shift in these past almost 12 months together. So how has that poured over into your agency? What have you been able to do because of
that? I've been able to find the positive in everything now. Underwriting cancel something. Okay, well, let's figure out how to write something else. Underwriting guidelines change. Okay, well, let's figure out a way to go around this versus having a pity party or just, oh man, we can't do anything. This sucks. I don't know what our family's doing. Like, we don't do any of that. And if I hear my staff saying, oh, well, the price is too high, like, no. Let's be positive. Let's figure out our process. Let's figure out a way to continue to do what we do and have the right attitude. That's been the biggest impact, like the whole attitude adjustment. Even when something's not going the way that I feel like it should be, it's still kind of like, okay, well, you know what? Let's find the good in this. Let's figure out how we can make something out of nothing and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to impact what we all want to impact. And that's our bottom line. That's, you're going to be more profitable and make more money because you've made that shift. It's all in the mind, right? We talked about
exactly
that energy. And in order for you to attract the money that you want and that you desire for your agency, you have to have that shift. And it's about that positive mindset. Great. So what would you say to a new agency owner? Because we were going to wrap up. I know I've held you almost 20 minutes now. So what would you say to an agency owner who says, hey, I'm thinking about going and working with Coach Mo? What would you say to them? What advice would you give them?
I would say be prepared, because she's going to help you get what you say you want to get, and just be open to the information that she's giving and do your homework. Because if you do the work, you will see the results, because she has a knack for seeing inside of people and pulling things out that they may not see that they have, and then giving them the confidence to go forward with whatever their mission is in life. So I would definitely say do it. You can't go up.
One more thing too. Look, I said it was one more thing. I lied. So without divulging the amount, I do want to talk about in terms of the investment and the comfort level, because there's this myth that business coaching is something that they can't afford and they're not willing to invest. Talk a little bit about how you were able to make that decision for yourself. You don't have to say any numbers, of course, but in terms of the investment, how were you able to be comfortable and be okay with investing in yourself?
Well, I felt like if I want something, I got to pay for it. You get what you pay for. And I felt like I wanted to see a change. So I can sit here and say, oh, it's too expensive. Then I can try to figure out all this stuff on my own. Or I can let somebody who has over 25 years experience break it down for me and show me the shortcuts. So I can pay. I don't mind paying for a peace of mind. And that's what I did. So in this case, mine is MIND, which equates to MINE, because I can get more of me based on these steps. And I told Bernice, if I could have got this in year 1, then I probably would almost feel like I'm in year 12 now versus year 6. Because a lot of this stuff you have to learn on your own. Nobody's telling you. They just say, here's your agency, go. So Bernice can come in and be like, okay, what do you want in this section? What do you want in this section? You're like, you know what? This is the piece that I've been missing. So after our first meeting, I told her, I was like, if we never meet again, I'm hooked. Like, I can just finish writing your check now because it all makes sense. And she was like, well, no, we still got to finish. Like, no, because everybody doesn't tell you what you need to know to be successful, because most people want you to be like, oh, well, I think I did this. I just work hard. Like, well, what does that mean? But working with you broke down what the work hard means and how you can develop in each area. And that's why I didn't mind paying for that process and kept paying, even though when I didn't know I was paying, it was like, Bernice, we still going. I thought we was done, but okay, let's just keep going, because I need to get all the information that I can. And I never complained about the price, which, I mean, I spend more money than that just doing. My bike costs more than that. So, don't tell nobody.
That's between you and I. And I will say this to you guys that are out there watching, you can tell that there's more of a kinship here. It's not just a personal, professional relationship. Yes, it's professional, but the goal is that she's going to have a coach or someone, an advocate for her for life. Like, I'm not going anywhere. Even if she decides, okay, I'm done, I don't need anything from you right now, I will always be that individual that is readily available to her as a resource. Because it's more than just about, yes, the investment is important, but it's more than just about that. It's truly about the impact that I desire to see in the world and how I desire to change the world. And that is one agency at a time. And so, Tracy, I want to say I thank you for your friendship. Let me say that. Thank you for being a rock star.
And I want to say one more thing too. So Mernice is very helpful. You can actually call her outside of your appointment time. And she's like, why are you not calling me? You can call and ask me questions. And she's very helpful. She won't make you feel like, well, you only paid for Tuesdays, so only call me on Tuesdays. She's going to give you that benefit of, I really got somebody that's trying to help me out, and give you that feeling of, okay, I can do this, because she really is more concerned about me than me just paying her a fee to come and do what she said she's going to do in this little small time frame.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you again. It's been wonderful, 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 wonderful having you as a client. Again, I don't take it for granted. You could have worked with hundreds of other coaches. Let's keep that real. Let's be 100, as they say.
Oh yeah, because I've turned out a lot of people, yeah, but exactly. You're the first person that I said yes to, just because it was something in your spirit that let me know that, you know what, we can work together. So, and we did, and we are.
We're going to continue. Yeah, we've got some great plans in place. We're going to form some partnerships. I mean, this thing is just amazing that the universe allowed us to cross paths, and we're able to be there and support one another in our own goals of success. So, love you, Tracy. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Have a great evening.
Adios.
Bye. So
Bye.
we're going to go ahead and wrap up, guys. So thank you, all of you that jumped on tonight. I do want to talk a little bit more about what this whole thing is about, because I think it's so important. I hope that something was said tonight that was impactful, that gives you some food for thought, that is going to really cause a shift inside of your own life and inside of your own agency. And so what do you want the rest of 2018 to look like? That's the goal. That's the question that I have for everyone for the rest of this week. I want you to think about it. What do you want it to look like? You know, do you envision 2018 to be the year that you're going to move powerful? You're going to move towards your dream, towards building that thriving agency, rewarding life? Or are you going to stay stagnant? Or are you going to be bottlenecked and be pigeonholed? You have, you really have some decisions to make. You have a choice. And as I shared this morning, earlier during the broadcast, it's not necessarily just about me. It's not about me. It really, truly is about what you desire for your own life, And so maybe you got all these big dreams, but you feel overwhelmed. You're stressed out. Everything's too complex. You feel like you have to do it alone. You can't figure out, solutions to the difficulties and challenges that you're facing every day in your agency. And so maybe you may be thinking, where am I going to start? How do I make these decisions by myself? How am I going to get everything done? And I say, this is what you do. You join us here, come back, you ask questions, you reach out to me, you send me a message, Coach Mo, I need help. But the good news is that we're launching our 2018 masterclass is coming up the end of July. We're going to have our Rockstar Master Your Agency masterclass, and it is designed, specifically for you. If I stepped on your toes tonight, type me ouch in the comment box below, or if you're watching on the replay, let me know any of those things that we talked about, and I was knocking at your front door, and it's you, and you know that I am your coach, then you need to reach out. You need to raise your hand and say, hey, Coach Moj, come over here. I need your help, because I can help you with it, But I've designed this masterclass specifically for agency owners to help you with strategies, proven strategies to help move your agency forward, systems, training, guidance, accountability, support, everything you need all wrapped into one to help you maximize the success that you want to see in your own agency. So let me tell you who this whole masterclass is for. And I'm also going to tell you who it's not for. All right. So let's start first of all with who it's not for. You know, this masterclass is not for that individual that's got stinking thinking. It's not for the person who is not ready for change. It really isn't. It's if you're not ready to change and you're okay, you're complacent where you are, awesome. I love you, and I say good luck. You know, that's amazing that you are, but not all of us are there, right? We need help, and so, but if you're okay, then this is not for you, but it may be for someone else that you may know. So I want you to listen until the end, because I want you to be able to share this information with someone else that can benefit from it. And so if you're that individual that doesn't believe in investing and taking care of yourself, if you're not ready to think outside of the box and be stretched and pulled, because I do have a little bit of tough love inside built into this masterclass, but it's only for the purpose of getting you to where it is you desire to be. So if that's you, then this class is not for you. This masterclass is not for you. But this is who this masterclass is for. It's for new agency owners and producers who are ready to hit the ground running. And I mean, you are committed. You want to build a thriving agency. You're ready for some profitability inside of your business, and you want to live a rewarding life, then you need to be in this masterclass. If you're an experienced agency owner, and you're already a top performing producer, and but you want to expand beyond where you are. You don't want that one-to-one thing. You want to be in a community or a group of other individuals that already operate in your industry so that you can leverage their business knowledge and their business technology and what it is in their resources and who their accountability partners are and their community leaders. Those are the ones that you want to connect with, who they're influencing. Then you make sure you want to be part of this master class. It's also for the agency owners who's looking to implement the leading edge strategies in terms of technology. You've got to be willing to really embrace that technology. And so we're going to do a deep dive into that. Also building those joint ventures and those partnership relationships that are so key and important for moving your agency ahead. You need that. Strategic alliances. So very, very important. Tapping into an endless pool of clients online and also building a strong social media presence. You certainly need to be here in this masterclass. I'm going to post a link in the box above me so that you're able to go ahead and get started and register. But you want to get in. I can only take 20 individuals. So you want to get, and it's a first come, first serve. So you want to make sure that you guys jump in. So if you have any questions, again, this is for you. If you or any of those, I described you in any of those topics, and that's you, and you need to be in this masterclass, go ahead, register, join us now. We're launching July 27th, I believe. It's the last Thursday of this month. We're going to launch, and we are ready to move your agency forward. I want to encourage you guys to think about how important it is that you invest in your own success today. Don't wait until tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised. You have got to be willing to invest in your own personal success today. Remember, I shared with you my motto. I would rather live a life of oh well than to live a life of what if. And I want the same for you. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. It has been amazing. I am so excited and so glad. Can't wait to talk to you guys again tomorrow. Join me right here again tomorrow night, 7:30, right inside. I have another rock star coming up. Oh, guys, she is awesome. She is my millennial rock star agent. You do not want to miss tomorrow night. And so I hope you will join me again tomorrow evening. Again, God bless. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging in here with us tonight. And I hope you guys have a great evening. Talk to you later. Bye.